But first, a word from our sponsor. I wanted to take a moment to give a huge thanks to today's sponsor, Melodics. Melodics is a really cool software that teaches you how to make the most of your MIDI controllers. The first time I went through the app, I found myself sitting at the computer for about 2 hours just plowing through lesson after lesson. I was obsessed with getting all the notes perfect and getting the highest grade possible. And the best part is, all the information I learned from my lessons, I was able to implement directly back into my music production. The melody you'll see me lay down today is heavily influenced by what I've learned in Melodics so far. The guys over at Melodics were kind enough to give me a code that will give you 20% off your subscription. Forever. Nah, I can hear some of you now. But shoot, I don't have a MIDI keyboard. I can't enjoy all of this awesome goodness that Melodics is offering me. Well, I have a fix for at least one of you. I'm giving away a free MPK mini MIDI controller. All you have to do is comment a lightning bolt emoji below. The lucky winner will be able to trample their enemies under their feet with the superior keyboard skills they will learn by using the MPK in tandem with Melodics' high-powered discourse. And now to the cook-up. What is up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chu, and today we are going to be doing a cook-up in the style of Travis Scott. In this episode of Not So Silent Cookups, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I just got this really cool one-shot kit from treesound.com. This is not an ad. I just got a really cool one-shot kit for Black Friday. They had a sale and I really like it. So I want to show you guys how you can use just different stuff to do really cool things. Actually, one more thing. There has been a delay on the melody tutorial because I just really want it to be perfect. I feel like you guys really like the melody tutorial, so I just want to do my best to make sure that they're as high quality as they can be. I want to make that series and those episodes as quality as I can. Those things are kind of like my paella at this point, since you guys love them so much and you guys want them. You guys keep asking for them. I'm going to keep making them.
It's what we wanted all along.
So now, without further ado, let's get into the cook-up.
That's what we've been waiting for.
So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the one-shot kit. And I'm going to find like my first sound. I kind of want to start with like a pluck or a bell, so I'm gonna go. I haven't actually looked through the plucks yet, so that's where I'm gonna go first. Okay, so I like this indica perk. Shocker. If you know, you know. So the first thing I'm gonna do is find the key, the actual key. So a lot of these they did a really good job. A lot of these are actually pitched to C. I think because when they naturally recorded the sounds, they were just in C, but some of them are in different keys because they just recorded the sounds naturally. So you're gonna wanna go into Edison. Anytime you have something like a one shot, you're gonna wanna just double check. It's the same thing you do with 808s just to make sure they're in tune. And you can do this with any sound. Just go into Edison, click this little flag, then click the tech pitch regions and it'll bring it up. And you can always do that just by right clicking the waveform inside of the channel settings window right here. So that's already pitched to C or tuned to C, so we can just make a melody. So let's see if we can come up with something really cool and really dark sounding in the harmonic minor scale. So now that I have my basic chord progression, I am going to add a flute and maybe some accent sounds. I don't know why I'm staring at the mic like it's the camera. I'm gonna add a flute and some accent sounds and then maybe like a bass underneath, and then I'm gonna compile it into one sample and then use that as my main sample for the beat. Okay, so now I have like all the sounds that I want, so I'm gonna put some effects and kind of process them. That's kind of like where you get kind of that authentic dark grimy sound out of it. Like the sounds are gonna sound really good on their own, especially if you have something dope like this one shot. So now I'm just gonna kind of process all the sounds really quick. I usually spend a long time on this process, but for the sake of the video I kind of just want to show you guys some things that I do and kind of get to the actual meat of it. We are done processing all of the individual sounds. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to the master channel. I'm going to arm it to record. I'm going to press Alt R. It will render it. You drag it into the playlist. So there's our sample now. So we're gonna work with that, and that's gonna be the main thing. We're gonna do a few more things, maybe pitch it up or down, do some chopping possibly, and then we're gonna get into the drums, which is the best part. Do some mixing, some arranging, and then get out of here. Okay, so we have that, and actually I realized one thing. I didn't even mix the bass into this and export it when I made my sample, but I guess it kind of worked out because I feel like the bass might have actually fucked it up a little bit, just with kind of like the groove that I have. Maybe I'll use the bass as like a synth breakdown in the actual beat. I'm going to now take this pattern, export it as audio by, let me show you, right click, and then you press A, which will bring you into this menu so you can render your pattern into an audio clip. I'm gonna render it, and then here we have our new sample. So the way I'm gonna organize this is first I'm gonna normalize it, turn the volume down a little bit. I'm gonna have this be an A section, and then the B. Make a new sample, it's not gonna be unique, and you do that by pressing this, going to make unique, or you can press M. And then I'm gonna double click it, and I'm gonna just bring the pitch down, and I'm gonna duplicate that over 3 more times. I also like to mix in mono. It kind of helps me hear what especially what percussive sounds are overpowering which percussive sounds are overpowering each other, and I can kind of get a more fine and precise level of mixing by doing it in mono. So what I did just then is I finished my like light mix down, and what I came here to do is basically I'm gonna do a light mastering, and I'm gonna bring everything back to a high level of loudness, if you will. I heard once that Mike Dean masters at like +1 decibels, which is ridiculously loud. But with that being said, I do like to master pretty loud because he made it seem like it's pretty okay. So I'll probably go for like a 0 or like -1 like peak for the master. And the way I'm going to do that is by using the limiter to raise the gain, create a ceiling, create some saturation, and then use a clipper and an EQ to create a master bus. And you'll see a little bit of what I'm talking about as I do that right now. So let's get into it. So essentially what the limiter is doing here is it's adding some loudness and it's adding some saturation into the beat. The soft clipper is creating a harder ceiling and allowing the very top of the transients of the hardest hitting sounds, such as the bass, the kick, and the clap, to be cut off. So it kind of creates a little bit of soft distortion. And then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna do one more thing. I'm gonna slot an EQ right. Again, I have no idea if this is like actual professional like mastering shit. This is just like what I do, like what I've watched people do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tame that low end just a little bit. I'm gonna add some more saturation, is what I would call it. I'm gonna try to induce a feeling of added saturation by adding a little bit more bass back with this EQ band, and then I'm gonna add some high end with this band, so that the hi-hats sound really crisp and they sound like the transients are clashing with the kick, which is kind of how you create that hard clipping sound. So let me show you kind of what I mean. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. So I'm going to do a really quick arrangement, tag up the beat, and then we'll get out of here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to split the drum track, or the drum channel, into its individual tracks or individual channels. There's a better way to do this, but I so habitually do it this way that like it's just, comment below if there's actually a better way. I know there's a better way, but I never read the comment when you guys post it. It's just like, but if enough of you guys comment it this time, I'll actually do it. Okay, so like what I did here is I created an intro section by removing all the drums for the first 8 bars. And then for the second 8 bars and the third 8 bars, it's gonna be the chorus or hook, if you will. So I'm gonna take out the kick here, but then it'll be just a full drum pattern here with the kick added back in. Then I'll take the kick out. And then as the verse starts here, over these last 24 bars, we'll take out the kick and the 808 for the first 8 bars. We'll leave everything in for the second 8 bars, and then for the last 8 bars, we'll just take out the kick so that the 808's going. It'll sound pretty groovy. Okay, and there we have it. Just like a short little freestyle for someone like Travis Scott or Logic or even like Joyner Lucas. A lot of those artists that are really, really, really driven by that harmonic minor kind of chord progressions, like the 6-5-6-4, like the 6-5-1 in the harmonic minor. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then that's really, really good, because the new melody tutorial is going to teach you all about that shit. It's going to be really, really cool. You're going to be able to use chords as building blocks, and it's going to be super duper fun to finally kind of understand how I was able to take those very simple notes at the beginning with the one shots and create this beat pretty easy. And then it'll get to a point where you'll be able to pump stuff out like this very regularly if you practice it. I love you guys. Thank you.
Pikachu, I choose you!